Lesson 11. Stopping Abuse Forever. Introduction. The ultimate goal is a world without domestic violence. Until everyone understands that no amount of violence or abuse, whether it is emotional, verbal, or physical, is acceptable, we will have not won the war against domestic abuse. To stop abuse, we have to focus on the next generation. We must teach our teens and our children that violence or aggression in any form is not acceptable in relationships. We must give them the skills they need to cope with the stresses of daily life and relationships so that they will not repeat the mistakes so many families are making today. We must also educate adults so that they can cope better and learn how to make marriages and relationships work without abuse. Some have suggested that if counseling took place before there were problems, there would be much less abuse to deal with down the line. Perhaps this is so. In this chapter, we will look to the future, educating the next generation, teens, dating abuse, and the promise of premarital counseling options. Educating the next generation. Educating our youth about domestic violence is essential in stopping abuse. Some people worry that talking about domestic abuse only makes it more prevalent, but that is not at all the case. In fact, domestic abuse often starts at a shockingly young age. Most parents are stunned by the statistics regarding how many teenagers have committed or been the victims of domestic violence at the hands of their boyfriends or girlfriends. It is obvious that domestic violence arises early on, often in teen and young adult relationships. There is plenty of evidence that it is more likely to occur if these teens witnessed or were the victims of abuse as children, but it is by no means limited solely to these families. Sometimes families with no history of violence at all have children who grow up to become abusers for any number of unknown reasons. This is even more reason why education must begin at an early age. There is no way to distinguish who may turn out to be an abuser and who may end up a victim. Education in the classroom. Increasingly, high schools and middle schools are teaching courses on dispute resolution and communication between the sexes, either in sex education classes or in health classes. These courses outline the warning signs of domestic abuse, provide information on protecting themselves and others from abuse, and offer ways to prevent abuse. Role-playing and various other techniques help students learn how to interact properly and overcome violent tendencies. Education at home. It is never too early to talk to children or teens about domestic abuse. Discuss with them appropriate ways to express anger and frustration and what is and is not acceptable behavior in a relationship. Be very firm and very clear about what is out of bounds. Listen to how boys talk about women. If you hear derogatory language, call them on it. Explain how hurtful those words are and why you will not permit them. Be a role model at home on how to have a loving relationship. Always model respectful, appropriate behavior by treating your spouse or partner with dignity and kindness. Remember, children and teens learn what they see and experience. They will treat others the way they have been treated and the way they see you treat your own partner. Your children watch what you do and pick up their cues from you. Always be aware of how you express anger, frustration, or discontent. Help your children define healthy relationships by demonstrating those relationships. Organizations. Each year, more organizations, including hospitals, outreach groups, and health organizations, are sponsoring programs that help mentor and lead teens in learning how to interact appropriately and develop healthy relationships. One such organization, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, has established an initiative to stop violence through promoting various relationship-building activities for teens and youth aged 10 to 14. For more about this program, visit this URL or the foundation at this URL. Another outstanding organization that supports an end to domestic violence that provides mentoring, leadership, and resources for fathers who wish to end the cycle of domestic violence is Founding Fathers. Visit their website at this URL for more information and to sign up and become a member. The site Love is Respect at this URL is a national dating abuse website and hotline that defines dating abuse, outlines how to recognize it, and has an excellent online quiz that teens can take to determine if their relationship is abusive. The Teen Dating Bill of Rights outlines the rights each teen has when dating and includes a pledge that teens may sign to uphold the rights and dignity of their partners. Employer initiatives. It has only been within the last decade that employers have begun consistently including formal domestic abuse policies in their human resources training, workforce policies, and employee training programs. Fortunately, many companies today recognize that domestic violence is a very real and immediate problem that must be addressed, and they are not only helping employees who are victims, but also they are educating all employees about how they can help. Counseling for couples. In recent years, experts have suggested that couples undergoing counseling before there are any signs of problems evident in their relationships may reduce both the divorce rate and the rate of domestic abuse. The theory is that by talking with a professional, communication skills can be developed and any major problems can be addressed that may not have been thought of by the partners. Addressing these issues in a controlled environment with professional guidance rather than being blindsided by them when you are under stress may help some couples avoid the tension that leads to abuse. Often, couples in the first romantic blush of their relationship do not address issues such as gender roles, children, money issues, career issues, and a host of other potential problems. Having a professional counselor help them work through these issues can prevent future problems and help them develop powerful, effective ways to resolve their differences and strengthen their relationship in the process. Studies have shown that those couples who are open to premarital counseling tend to be more successful in their marriages. Each person possesses the humility to accept guidance and encouragement in order to strengthen his or her love and nurture it. Conclusion. If each of us takes the time to try to change the future for our children, we can create a world without domestic violence. How soon this arrives is up to us individually and as families, friends, and co-workers.